I used to think that losing my balance was just something that came with getting older. You know, one of those things we're told to accept. But one quiet morning, while I was making tea in my kitchen, something changed. I reached up to grab a mug, and my foot shifted just enough to make me stumble. I didn't fall, thank goodness, but that moment shook me. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was ordinary. No mess on the floor, no rush, no distraction. Just me, my body, and a question that wouldn't go away. What if next time I don't catch myself? That one moment made me realize that balance isn't just about staying upright. It's about independence. It's about confidence. It's about the freedom to move through life without fear. And here's what I've learned since then. Most women over 60 are making small, everyday mistakes that quietly chip away at their balance. Mistakes I made too. Things no one talks about. Until it's too late. But this isn't a message about fear, it's a message about power. Because the good news is, most of these habits can be changed. Easily. Starting today. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the biggest balance mistakes we make as we age, and the simple steps to take back your strength, your stability, and your confidence. Let's begin this journey together. Because getting older doesn't mean giving in. It means getting smarter. Common mistake number 1. Not practicing balance. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually practiced your balance? I used to think walking around the house, going up and down stairs, or doing a little gardening was enough to keep me steady. I figured, I'm moving, that's good enough. But one day, as I stood brushing my teeth, I lifted one foot slightly to grab something, and I wobbled. Not a dramatic fall, just a little shake. But it scared me more than I care to admit. Because that tiny moment showed me something I had ignored for too long. My balance wasn't as automatic as it used to be. Here's what no one tells us. Balance isn't something you keep just by living your daily life. It's a skill. Like strength or flexibility, it fades if you don't train it. And most of us stop challenging it without even realizing. Think about it. When we were younger, we moved in every direction. Playing with kids, stepping onto curbs, dancing, hiking. Now, life is simpler, slower, more careful. And slowly, without warning, our body stops practicing all those little adjustments that used to come naturally. The good news? Balance can be trained. At any age. Your body hasn't forgotten how to learn. It just needs a little reminder. I started small, standing on one foot for 10 seconds while I brushed my teeth, then walking heel to toe across the hallway like I was on a balance beam, shifting my weight from side to side while holding on to the kitchen counter. I didn't need fancy gym equipment or a personal trainer, just a few minutes here and there with purpose. Within a couple of weeks, I noticed something. I wasn't reaching for the wall when I got up. I wasn't hesitating at curbs. I even caught myself humming and dancing in the kitchen again, something I hadn't done in years. Practicing balance isn't about preparing for a fall. It's about preventing one. It's about giving yourself the strength and control to move confidently through life. So if you've never tried a balance exercise, or if it's been a while, don't worry. You're not behind. You're just getting started. And the best time to begin is today. Common mistake number 2. Wearing the wrong shoes. For years, I wore the same pair of soft ballet flats almost everywhere. They were easy to slip on, didn't squeeze my feet. And honestly, they looked cute. I never thought twice about it. That is, until the day I nearly ended up face first in a rose bush. I was walking down the sidewalk near my home when the edge of one shoe caught on a slightly raised piece of pavement. I stumbled hard and just barely caught myself. My heart was pounding. That's when it hit me. It wasn't just about being distracted or clumsy. It was my shoes. As we age, the shape of our feet changes. The padding under our heels and the balls of our feet thins out. Our arches may flatten, and the muscles around our ankles lose some of their responsiveness. The shoes that felt perfectly fine 10 years ago might be quietly putting us at risk today. We tend to think of shoes as style or comfort, or maybe just something we throw on to get through the day. But after a certain age, shoes become something else entirely: your foundation. And if your foundation is unstable, so is everything above it. Here's what I've learned to look for now: a firm, non-slip sole that grips the ground. No more smooth, worn-out bottoms. Then, real structure. Something that supports the arch and holds my foot in place, especially around the heel and ankle. Cushioning matters too. Think memory foam or a proper heel cup that absorbs impact when walking on hard surfaces. And most importantly, the right fit. Too loose and you risk tripping. Too tight and your foot can't move naturally. And let's not forget about slippers. I used to wear those floppy, fuzzy kinds all day at home. I loved how cozy they felt. What I didn't realize was how slick the soles were. One day, I was carrying a laundry basket and nearly slipped right off the hallway rug. That's when I switched to house shoes with good grip. Nothing fancy, just stable, supportive, and safe. Some people worry that supportive shoes look orthopedic or too old, but I promise you, today's shoe market has caught up. I found a pair of supportive sneakers in soft gray with floral accents. Stylish, comfortable, and, most importantly, I feel safer in them. I walk taller. I move with more confidence. And I haven't tripped on that rug in months. What used to feel like a small detail, shoes, now feels like one of the most important choices I make every day. Because good shoes don't just protect your feet, they protect your independence. Common mistake number 3: overlooking medication side effects. A few years ago, my doctor prescribed me a new medication for blood pressure. Nothing unusual. I'd been feeling a little off, and this was meant to help. I took it just like I was told, assuming I'd feel better in no time. But something strange started happening. I'd stand up from the couch and feel the room tilt, just slightly. Sometimes I'd need to steady myself against the wall. It wasn't dramatic, just off. At first, I blamed it on being tired. Maybe I hadn't eaten enough. Maybe I stood up too fast. I brushed it off. Until one evening, I stood up from the sofa a bit too quickly and stumbled straight into the coffee table. I didn't fall, thankfully, but I could have. That moment scared me into finally reading the label on the pill bottle. And right there, in plain print, it said, "May cause dizziness or balance problems." That was my wake-up call. As we age, our bodies change how they process medications. What worked fine in our 50s might hit harder in our 70s. On top of that, many of us take several prescriptions, along with vitamins and over-the-counter meds. These can interact in ways that even doctors don't always catch right away. Here's the truth. You are the expert on your own body. If something feels off, even just a little bit, don't ignore it. Write it down. Dizziness, lightheadedness, fatigue, whatever it is, track it. Then bring that list with you to your next appointment. When I finally spoke up, my doctor reviewed everything I was taking. He adjusted the dose, and just like that, the dizzy spells stopped. My balance improved, and with it, my confidence. It's easy to assume these little changes are just part of getting older. But sometimes they're not. Sometimes the fix is as simple as a phone call and a small adjustment. So here's my advice. Read your labels. Ask questions. Trust your instincts. Don't let medication silently chip away at your stability. You have every right to feel strong and steady, every single day. Common mistake number 4. relying on furniture instead of using a cane. For the longest time, I told myself I didn't need a cane. I wasn't that old. I was independent. Sure, I would sometimes steady myself by touching the back of a chair or gliding my hand along the kitchen counter. But in my mind, that was different. That didn't mean anything serious, right? Wrong. What I was doing, without realizing it, was what professionals call furniture walking. Reaching out for chairs, countertops, walls, anything that could give me a bit of stability as I moved through my home. It felt harmless at the time, but it was actually a sign that I wasn't as steady as I thought. Then one afternoon, everything changed. I was carrying a full basket of laundry from the bedroom to the living room, both hands full. No way to grab onto anything if I needed support. I stepped onto the hardwood floor, and my balance shifted just enough to throw me off. I stumbled hard and almost went into the side table. That moment wasn't just scary, it was humbling. The next day, I went shopping and picked out a cane. Not the kind I used to picture, gray and clinical, but a beautiful, lightweight one with a floral pattern that honestly made me smile. The grip felt good in my hand. It felt like it belonged there. And you know what? I didn't feel old. I felt relieved. Because now I had real support. I didn't have to depend on furniture that was never meant to hold my weight. I could walk from room to room, or even outside, with more ease. And people didn't look at me with pity. If anything, they complimented the cane. Using a cane isn't a weakness. It's a choice. One that says, I value my safety, my confidence, and my independence. If you found yourself grabbing the back of a chair, just in case, or walking with your hand skimming along the wall, your body might be trying to tell you something. Listen. There's nothing wrong with getting help from the right tools. In fact, it's one of the smartest things you can do. Because the goal isn't to look strong. The goal is to be strong enough to keep doing the things you love, without fear of falling. Common mistake number 5. Not drinking enough water and skipping protein. This one took me by surprise. I never imagined something as simple as water, or what I ate, could affect my balance. But it does. And once I understood how, everything started to make more sense. For years, I thought I was drinking enough. A cup of tea in the morning, coffee in the afternoon, maybe a little water with dinner. It felt like plenty. But the truth is, as we get older, our bodies don't send the same strong signals when we're dehydrated. We don't always feel thirsty, even when we really need fluids. I didn't realize I was running low until I started getting lightheaded when standing up. My energy would dip in the late afternoon. My legs felt a little shaky. At first, I blamed it on age or the weather, but when my doctor asked me, "How much water are you actually drinking?" I didn't have an answer, so I started tracking it. Just water. No tea, no soda. I aimed for 6 to 8 cups a day, and within a week, I felt like a new person. More energy, fewer dizzy spells, and a lot more stability when I walked. It was such a simple change, but it made a huge difference. And then there's protein. I never paid much attention to it before. But muscle loss happens faster than we think, especially after 60. And if we're not getting enough protein, our bodies can't rebuild what we lose. I'm not talking about bodybuilder shakes or eating steak every night. I started small, adding an egg to breakfast, a little Greek yogurt with lunch, some beans or chicken at dinner. Even cottage cheese or peanut butter helps. Protein helps you stay strong. Strong muscles protect your joints, help your body react faster if you trip, and keep your posture upright, which all play a role in balance. So if you're feeling off, tired, or just not as steady as usual, ask yourself 2 things. Am I drinking enough water? Am I eating enough real protein-rich food? Sometimes the answers to better balance aren't fancy or expensive. Sometimes they're already in your kitchen. Common mistake number 6. Living in a fall-unfriendly home. We spend so much time in our homes that we stop noticing the little things. That corner rug we've had for years, the lamp cord stretching across the hallway, the dim bulb in the bathroom. We know where everything is, so it feels safe. But the truth is, familiarity doesn't equal safety. I learned that the hard way one morning, carrying a basket of laundry. My arms were full, and as I stepped into the hallway, my foot caught the edge of a rug. I didn't fall, but I twisted my ankle so badly I had to sit on the floor right then and there. That rug had been there for over a decade. I'd stepped over it thousands of times. But that day, it became a real hazard. That was my wake-up call. After that, I looked at my house differently, not just with my eyes, but through the lens of safety. I noticed how slippery the bathroom floor could be. I saw that my hallway had only one weak light bulb. And I realized how often I had to bend low to reach pans in the kitchen, something that had started to feel a little risky. So I made a few changes. I removed the loose rugs and replaced them with non-slip mats. I added grab bars in the bathroom, next to the toilet and inside the shower. I swapped dim bulbs for bright, warm LED lights. I even bought a little motion sensor nightlight for the hallway, so I didn't have to fumble in the dark if I got up at night. None of these changes were dramatic. They didn't cost a fortune. But together they gave me something priceless. Peace of mind. And here's something that's easy to forget. Making your home safer isn't just for you. It's for anyone who visits. Grandkids, friends, neighbors. You're creating a space that says, "You're welcome here, and you're safe here." So, if it's been a while since you really looked at your home, take a slow walk through it. Ask yourself, if I were visiting this house for the first time, what would make me feel safer? Because most falls happen at home. But with a few small adjustments, most of them can be prevented. You've spent your life taking care of others. Now it's time to let your home take care of you. Common mistake number 7. Ignoring vision changes. I never used to connect vision with balance. I thought eyesight was about reading, recognizing faces, maybe seeing the television clearly. But balance? That felt like a completely separate issue. Then one night, everything changed. I got up quietly to use the bathroom, trying not to wake my husband. I didn't turn on the light, just followed my usual path down the hallway like I had 100 times before. But that night, I misjudged the edge of a small rug. My foot caught it, and I went down hard on my knee. No broken bones, but a week of limping and a deep reminder that I wasn't seeing as clearly as I thought I was. What I learned after that fall surprised me. Our eyes are one of the most important systems involved in balance. They help our brain figure out where we are in space, how far we are from the floor, where the next step begins, where the shadows fall. Even a small decline in vision can throw all that off. And here's the thing. Many of us wear outdated prescriptions for years. I was guilty of that too. My glasses were 4 years old. I thought they were good enough. But after my fall, I made an appointment with my eye doctor. Turned out, my prescription had changed. I also learned about anti-glare lenses and contrast-enhancing coatings that help in low light. Those little changes made a big difference. I added soft plug-in nightlights in the hallway, bedroom, and bathroom. I cleaned my lenses regularly and upgraded a few lamps around the house. Suddenly, I wasn't guessing where the edge of the stairs was. I wasn't nervous walking at night. Vision changes can be subtle, which makes them easy to ignore. But the cost of ignoring them can be huge. So if your glasses are scratched, outdated, or just not working the way they used to, get them checked. If your home is full of dim corners and shadows, brighten them. You don't have to overhaul your whole house, just make it easier to see clearly. Because your balance doesn't start with your feet, it starts with your eyes. So there you have it. 7 small, everyday habits that quietly steal your balance, your confidence, and sometimes even your independence. Some of them might seem harmless: skipping water, wearing old shoes, ignoring a prescription label, but over time, they add up, and they can turn into the kind of fall that changes everything. But here's the good news, and it's the part I want you to really hear. This isn't about fear, it's about power, because every one of these habits can be changed. And most of them? You can start fixing today. You're not too old. It is not too late. And you are certainly not alone. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, you still have the ability to get stronger, to move with purpose, to wake up each day feeling more steady, more sure, and more in control of your body and your life. You've spent years taking care of others. Now it's your turn to take care of you, not by doing anything extreme, but by listening to your body, adjusting your environment, and choosing to take small, meaningful steps. So let me ask you this, and I'd love for you to answer in the comments below. Which of these 7 mistakes surprised you the most? Or maybe this one. What's one change you're going to make starting today? I read every single comment, and I promise you, your story just might be the reason someone else finds the courage to take their first step too. If this video helped you in any way, please consider liking it and sharing it with someone you care about. And if you want more real talk, practical tips, and heartfelt advice on staying strong and living fully as you age, be sure to subscribe. We're in this together. Take care of yourself, my friend. Your future self is counting on you. Stay steady, stay strong, and most of all, stay hopeful.